Today was just a maintenance day for those two. They'll be available for tomorrow night's game.
What's your impression of Lettieri? A 30-year-old guy, been up and down his whole career, but he seems to bring a lot of energy every time he comes to the rink.
I think that, like you just said, Vinnie is, he's a guy that you can depend on when you bring him up or he gets called up from Providence. You can put him in some different situations. He plays right now on the second power play and playing with Mitzi there. So, he's just got some experience under his belt. He's been through probably some different experiences throughout his career. And so, he's got energy. He skates well. He can shoot the puck. I think that, it's hard when you bounce up and down a lot like that, but he's a good pro, takes good care of himself, and he's a good character guy. So there are a lot of positives that he does bring.
You mentioned last night some guys are grabbing onto opportunities that they may not have had before the trade deadline. Do you look at him as one of those guys?
I do. I think that right now, where we're at, there's an opportunity for him, and it's up to him to really seize it and take advantage of it. And if he plays well and he's able to execute at a high level here, he has a good opportunity in front of him. I think that Vinny is, like I said, he's done a good job for us when he's been called upon. Consistency is the big thing, right, in this league. You have to be able to be counted on game in and game out, whatever your role is. And I'm sure that's what the players like him that you're talking about, guys that are grabbing an opportunity right now, that they want to make sure they get a hold of it. I'm sorry, with who?
Sorry,
Oh,
when he
yeah.
was able to sort of turn the season around,
Yeah.
sort of midway through, what did you see before and after?
Well, before, he didn't have his game where it needed to be. He'd probably be the first to tell you that. And then he was in and out of the lineup at times. And so, to find your game and to find your footing, it's difficult, right? People always talk about confidence in this game. Well, confidence is fleeting. It doesn't matter if you're 35, you've been in the league for 15 years, or you're 25. The way you build confidence is by being assertive. You take charge. You're making sure that your preparation's good. And so obviously he did that during that time that things weren't going the way he wanted them to, I would assume, and his preparation was good. And once you get that opportunity, that's when it matters, like we were just talking about. So if you're prepared, when the opportunity comes, you've done your work. You have the chance now to grab a hold of that, and that's what he's done. And he's also been put in a good situation. I've said this many times, but you have to take advantage of that too. And he's done that, playing with David, obviously an elite offensive player in the league, but and even Pav's a steady two-way centerman. So they found some chemistry with that line. And Geeks has come in, and he's earned the opportunity to be there right now. He's scoring. He's creating offense. His offensive game is good. He's seeing the offensive side of the game well, and so that's why he's had some success, I think.
When you have a season that is maybe going in a direction you don't want, how difficult can that be to sort of turn that ship around?
Well, everybody goes through adversity at some point. I think that's just part of the game at certain points during your career. And like I just mentioned, I think it comes down to the work that you put into it when things aren't going well. And, are you prepared when your opportunity comes to take advantage of it? And he has. I like his energy. I like his speed. He's got some tenacity in his game. He reloads well. He's on top of people. He's quick to pucks. I think that offensively in the O-zone, like any young player right now, he's not one of the bigger guys. So the ability to hold on to pucks a little bit more in the offensive zone, create a little bit more cycle game, that's something he's going to have to build upon and build on into his game. But I like the speed factor. I think he's quick. He's shown some relentlessness on pucks. And I think with him and Laux, both on the wings there, they've given us a spark with their speed.
So is there a rush element to his offensive
I think there needs to be. I think that that's something that coming through the neutral zone. I've said this before with a guy like him. Hopefully, he can push the pace, like with the way that we're trying to play right now. He can support the attack a little bit more as far as coming across, supporting the puck from the weak side of the ice over to the strong side. Really push the pace and unnerve the defense a little bit. Put them on their heels at times when they see that speed coming at them. That's something that we're working with him.
You've got so many guys now that you've got to kind of find out what is their identity, what is their game, what's their greatest strength. Castellick, we were wondering about that when they got him over the summer. Has he been everything you thought? Is there more to him than you figured?
I think there's probably more than I had originally thought. Like we've seen him in Ottawa a few times when we played there the last, couple of years, and so we knew the abrasive side that he brought to the game. Physical player, finishes his checks consistently, willing to stick up for himself and his teammates, more importantly. But the pace that he plays with is higher than I had originally thought. Like, he gets on top of people quick. He gets on top of the defenseman quick on the forecheck. And, like, when Cassie's playing his game, like, he can make it really hard on the opposition's defenseman. Like, if you're putting pucks in behind their D and establishing the forecheck with him coming down on you, you got to take a look, right? And that just, that's something that we're trying to build into our team game, especially with him in that line as far as being difficult to play against.
You got a couple guys now with 100 penalty minutes. So I think that's the first time in 15 years. He's one of them. You look at his PIMs as healthy PIMs?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I think they're legitimate penalty minutes. I mean, he's, like I said, every player who's physical like that's going to take some penalties sometimes, and that's just the nature. But I think most of his action comes just from the way he plays, the way he initiates on the ice, and he drags people into it. Not just himself; he drags other people into it.
You've seen the majority of the field at this point.
Of who? I'm sorry.
The majority of the playoff field at this point in the season, where things are in the standings.
Yeah.
Is there anything about this current version of your team that you think stands out compared to the rest of the field that kind of separates you in a way, or gives you an identity?
Compared to the rest of the teams that are jockeying right now, is that what you're saying? I don't know. I think right now, with the group that we have, whether it's opportunity that's going to drive them, or whether it's coming together as a team and trying to say, hey, we can still, we're still in this. The motivational factor, I don't know. It's hard to compare it to other teams as far as like what I see or what they have. But the focus for us really is just like, these guys want to prove something, right? Like, especially some of the newer players that we have in here. They want to prove that they belong here, part of a winning organization. So I think that's going to move the needle, and I'm hoping that moves the needle forward for us here down the stretch. These other teams that we're in the battle with, they're probably very similar as far as, some of these teams haven't been in this position in a while as far as in a playoff spot currently or pushing towards a playoff spot. I think we can rely on some of the veteran players that we have here that have been here, on that experience. Some of the newer guys can, lean on those guys for experience. Say, hey, this is how we have to play down the stretch here if we're going to make a serious push.
Is that enough motivation at this time of year, or does it take more than just that to kind of get over, especially where you guys are, games in hand? Does it take more than?
No, I think that's the driving factor. Is like, we're right in the thick of things here, right? We know where we're at as far as the standings, the games played. We know teams have a couple of games in hand on us, but we're trying to, I said this last night after the game, we're really trying to come together as a team with the new players that we have. That's first and foremost. And we're seeing team results right now, which is a good thing. The last 3 games, we're back to playing better defensively, 5-on-5. We're limiting grade A chances. So, if we continue to build on that stuff, and they see that they're having success, to me, that's the driving factor. Is we're just going to keep pushing here, and I think that the players can feed off of that.
16 games left. Would you lean any more on Swayman with this little runway?
I mean, Corby's played well too, right? I mean, but yeah, I think Sway is, now it's been 2 games in a row now where he's won 2. We've won 2 games in a row with Sway in the pipes, and I think when the opportunity's there, I think we're going to look to Sway, and as long as we're managing the games properly. But we have some time in between games here to make those decisions. So, but right now we're leaning towards Sway tomorrow.